Don't try to change yourself, right? Like obviously try to adapt to the culture and everything, but keep your personality.
To having a social life, it's hard, especially when you're immigrants.
Like I just started crying and I was like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, your salary becomes a little bit less than what you were actually earning before.
Because when we saw each other on playground, oh, you're French, and then we connect that like this.
This is not a normal, situation.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, we're running. So hi both. How are you doing today?
Great.
You good?
Doing good. Hi, I'm Natalia. I am 38 years old now, and I moved to Canada 13 years ago. I have 2 kids.
I am Sarah. I'm 35 years old, and I'm from France. I have 2 kids, and I moved to Canada 7 years ago now.
So welcome to Goûter. Have you watched a few episodes before or not at all? It's fine if you haven't, but okay.
No, not really.
Okay.
I was looking at what other people were wearing. Like, okay, let me see, what should I wear? Okay. But I didn't, but I will.
I should do the same.
Yes.
Okay.
No, but that's totally fine. But yeah, you were dressed really well today. Like that's
Thank
really
you.
nice. And the shoes, I don't know if we can see the shoes on the camera, but
Thank you.
they're really nice. So Le Goûter is obviously a space where we talk about the parts of our lives we don't always say out loud, right? Today's conversation, I would say, is personal because I'm an immigrant as well, right? I came to Vancouver 8 or 9 years ago, so I know about starting over. That's a big thing. More specifically, what happens when you arrive somewhere new with experience, with skills, with a whole identity, and suddenly none of it seems to count. And it's a big deal because you have to rebuild everything, right? You came with your family here.
Yeah, I came with my husband and my son. That it was free at that time.
Yeah.
Where
did you come from?
We from France, from southwest of France, like Bayonne, and we moved to Canada like almost 7 years ago now, and we arrived in Vancouver. But then after we moved, we'll see. We'll talk after.
Yeah.
But we move a lot in Canada.
And what do you do now?
Now for working, I'm inside sales.
Okay.
I'm working from home, so that's good for when you have to go living in another area in Canada, like Montreal or Calgary. You can still working from home, but we talk about that after. It's just I'm now in a prison just because remotely it's fine. You can watch your kids, pick up the kids when they're sick. That's great, but to having a social life, it's hard, especially when you're immigrants in another country. So start over again, it's complicated sometimes.
Yeah. What about you, Natalia? Did you come on your own?
I came with my husband, which we were dating at that time.
Okay.
But then he got a job offer here, and then we did the whole like long distance relationship thing, and there was a point where it was like, well, if we're gonna give this like an opportunity, then we have to get married and I have to move to Canada. I'll be completely honest, I was not the typical Dominican immigrant that wanted to move to Canada. I was like, I'll just give it a try.
What's the typical immigrant who wants
The
to
typical
come to?
immigrant really wants to live the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
Because I love my country, but there is a lot of corruption going on there. And depending what your level is, you might end up studying, working a lot, but not necessarily moving the needle in terms of life upgrade. So for a lot of Dominicans, Canada, it's a big opportunity. Yeah.
So why did you decide, both of you actually, why did you decide to come here and especially to come to Vancouver?
Well, originally I didn't come to Vancouver. We went to Calgary first. So we ended up living in Calgary for 8 years. Originally, we were supposed to be here for 5 years and then go back home. But then I had my kids in Calgary and we decided to stay and give them like Canadian education. Yeah.
What about you?
My husband was military in France and he stopped his career and he wants to change everything. But in the meantime, we always dream to live in a different area, different country. I don't know why. Because maybe I speak different languages, and I was always dreaming to live somewhere. And with the army was not possible. And when he stopped the army, it was the occasion to go. And at the beginning, I was thinking to go in Australia, but because we had a child, it was complicated to go.
Oh, why? The visa?
The work visa was allowed us to go, but no with the kids. So
Okay.
we cannot let them
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
no, makes sense. I was like, no, probably go somewhere else. And he talked about Canada because he had a friend that he was in Quebec, and he said, you should go to Canada. And I was like, I don't want to go. It's super freezing. I was not interested for, but he talked about Vancouver, and that's why we moved to Vancouver, because the weather is different from the other part of Canada.
Yeah. It's way better. How many languages do you speak?
4.
Okay. What are they?
Hablo español.
Ah, nice.
I speak Spanish, Italian, French, and English, obviously.
Okay. Wow. Do you speak any, like you already speak 2 languages, I guess.
That's it. Like I
Okay.
can understand a little bit of French, but I don't speak any. Well, Portuñol, which is like a mix between Portuguese and Spanish, that I can understand 100% and can reply a little bit, but
Where do people speak that language?
mainly Brazil, the people who live near
okay.
the border,
Yeah.
because they have Spanish speaking on the other side, so they sort of created a mix between Portuguese and Spanish, and it's really fun to talk to them because it's so similar to Spanish. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I've never really, thought about that they were doing a mix of the 2 languages, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing sometimes the mix of languages because my dad is Portuguese. And when we are with him in Portugal, and I try to speak with my family, but I don't speak any word in Portuguese, so I'm speaking in Spanish.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
And they can probably understand you. Yeah.
Sometimes they can understand. I was like, that's fine. I can use some words, so yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. That's funny, actually. Do you feel like, I know it's not the topic, but I'm very interested. Do you feel like sometimes you mix all of the languages together?
Yeah, definitely, because when I'm working with different languages. I can have one call in French and then another one in English and then switch to Spanish. And sometimes I'm like, even during the conversation, I can have a word in French in middle of English, you know. But it is what it is. We cannot control that.
Yeah.
So.
Do you feel like speaking multiple languages helped you when you came here and look for a job, or not at all? Yeah.
Me 100%, because it's funny, when I find my first job in Canada, I arrived in a building in downtown, and I was looking for a specific company because I was working in logistics. And then I saw a company here. I was like, oh, I know that company. I should go there. So I was with my resume on my hand. We're going to the elevator, and there was someone in the elevator, but I don't know who was that person is. And then he was like, are you looking for something? And I was, yeah, I'm looking for to drop my resume to that company. He was like, okay, I am the director of credit, so can I help you with something? And then we talked about that. He said, you speak Spanish too? Yeah. And then he was talking to me in Spanish, and I started my job in Spanish instead of English. I came from learning in English, but no, I started in Spanish. So it was very helpful for just because I was speaking in Spanish.
Oh, wow.
For my first experience. So
Yeah. What about you?
Well, my English wasn't so well when I first arrived. Like, it was good, but I had a lot of accent.
When did you arrive?
Way more than I have now. 13 years ago.
Okay.
And at the same time, I didn't arrive in Vancouver. I arrived in Calgary. And I felt that I couldn't really speak the language. So at the beginning, my husband will make me, like, when we were going to a restaurant, he'll be like, no, you have to order, or we will just stay here. And just looking at each other. And that's when I started, like, slowly, like, starting to speak more English and just letting that built in.
Yeah.
But it has helped to know two languages.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And when you were asking about mixing the 2 languages, you should see me speaking to my kids. Like, I will do like, well, and half was English, half was Spanish. And like a bunch of different mixed words in between, and they understand, we understand, so it's all good.
So did you think when you moved from your home country that when you came to Canada that your languages will help you, or you didn't even think about it? You were just like, okay, I'm going and we'll see how it's going to take me.
My end was a bit of like, I had studied English as like after school classes there in my home country, but I was not used to speaking English in my day-to-day life. So that, I think that that's one of the reasons that when I came here, I was like a bit of like shy of speaking English. But then after, I was like, I started realizing that Canada in general, it's such an immigrant culture. So what does it matter? Like a bunch of people don't really speak well the language or have a thicker accent than me. Who cares? So until I wasn't able to break that thing that was all inside of my own head, that's when I could like really start doing things with my life. Yeah.
Yeah, what about you?
Obviously, I'm French, so when you move to Canada, you're thinking you're going to speak in French as well. Even in Vancouver, I was like, probably we can find a job like this, and no, it was not the case at all, because I when I arrived here, everyone was speaking in English, and even sometimes I'm going to the bank asking someone to speak French, they're like, no. I'm like, okay, so it's not going well at that time, so I have to figure it out. And I was working in logistics, so I got some few word in English, but fluent like today, no, it was not like this at all. But French didn't help me at the beginning, though, obviously.
No. Yeah, I think we have that idea that Canada is I mean, it's not an idea, it's a bilingual country. Sorry, it's not an idea, sorry, Canadians. But yes, in certain parts of Canada, right, it is more prominent in the east than it is in the west.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel it stops at Ontario.
And even Ontario, I don't know. some part of Ontario they don't speak at all. But yeah, I live in Montreal after a couple of years, and I see the difference. Are we in the same country? It's so different. It's so different. Here they can understand both languages. We go in the West Coast, no one can understand French, so it's complicated. But I like the country just because we are bilingual, but we are not bilingual. We have multiple languages. There is a lot of Hispanic people, a lot of the Asian people, so India. So yeah, we are a migrant country, so we speak different languages, obviously.
Yeah, you're totally right. When you came here in Canada, did you have an idea of what your life would look like or your career?
No.
Were you doing the same job in France or?
No. I was working in logistics with drivers and customer, and I start here I was working as credit officer. I have no idea about this career. I don't know how much it has to be paid. About salary, I didn't know. And I have to start over, even for my work, even with my competences. And it's still hard, but I mean, it is what it is. I choose to immigrant to another country, so I have to follow the rules and grow up in the companies. But we want better salary, we want vacation, so we have to sometimes change jobs and change your position for work.
Did you have an idea for you? Were you expecting anything?
When we first moved, originally, I wasn't thinking a lot of my career because I was like, oh, it's only 5 years that I'm gonna be in Canada, so I'm going back. Back in my home country, like I did marketing, and I had an MBA as well, and I was working on a family business that I had done like every single job you can think about in that business, like from literally throwing boxes to like complete a truck that was going internationally to being the general manager at the company. So for me it was really a big shock when I moved here, and then I was like, I really need to start 100% because I had like credit there, I had like everything there, and then here, nothing. I'm like literally nothing. My first job here was doing lunch lady. So you basically, what you do is that you cater the lunches for the kids and you deliver to schools. That was literally my first job here. Nothing to do with marketing or business or anything like that. And one of the reasons that happened is because when I started looking for jobs back home, for example, it's the time frame where you find the job, it's shorter. Here, it's longer. Like generally you will spend, if you're like a really, really quick hiring will be like 3 months.
Yeah.
The regular hiring, it's between 6 to 8 months, I would say. And you can spend a year and even more looking for like jobs
Here in Canada?
Yeah.
So at that time, I didn't know that. So when I was like a month and I couldn't find a job, I was like, I don't care, I'll do whatever. So that's why I did that job originally. And the other thing is that there is something here called Canadian experience. So if you don't have it, no one will give it to you. And I'm like, but if no one will give it to me, then how am I going to get the Canadian experience? Like, explain this to me. So that was frustrating to me at the beginning, but I ended up finding a job in my area and then just starting in marketing again. So I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, but that's totally true. They want that Canadian experience, but you're like, yeah, but someone needs to actually give it
Someone needs to actually give it to you, because if not, how are you going to get it? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Chicken or the egg.
It's exactly that. So what was the moment you realized it wasn't going to be that simple?
I think that I have two moments. One of them was when there was a time that I was looking for a job I couldn't find, and a friend of mine was like, well, in the meantime, like, do you want to do like a nanny job? And I'm like, sure, it is what it is. And I remember that I went and I did the entire process thing. And don't get me wrong, it is a job. Like, you're not doing anything illegal or anything like that. But from coming from the position that you were back home to a nanny job, when your parents spend so much money in your education, and no one recognized that education here because they don't know the university. They don't know that it's a really good university back home. I remember that I did the interview and I went in my car and I was just crying. Like, I just started crying and I was like, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do. That was one of the first one. And the second one was when I went to the bank and I opened my bank account and I was like, well, I'll like a credit card as well. And they're like, well, for the credit card, you need to have whatever, like, you cannot have anything more than $500, I think it was. And it was like, and then you have to have that money in your checking account. So your credit card is sort of secure with your checking account. But then your checking account cannot be lower than X amount. I don't remember what it was. But it was like I had to have on that bank account double what I would have on my credit card, because in reality, they were not giving me credit. They were just like borrowing from my own money. So I'm like, this is not credit. And then I was in my head sort of comparing that to the credit that I had back home, that I could buy a house. And here I'm like struggling to get a $500 card.
Yeah.
And that was another moment where I realized that it was not going to be as easy as I thought.
Don't even get me started on those credit cards, because I think that there is I don't know, like, coming from France, I have a different understanding of the credit card and debit card thing. And as you said, you have to have double the money or whatever, because it's not a credit card. It doesn't work like a credit card, you know? So it's just weird. And I remember for the first year, I was struggling with that because I'm like, I don't understand. I really don't get it. So then at some point, I just like, okay, I'm just gonna close my credit card. That's it, you know, I'm canceling it and everything. And I did, and I called, MasterCard. But then I realized that you're not supposed to do that, because then you lose your credit score. And I'm like, what is that? Okay. So I'd just like to talk a little bit about culture as well, right? Like the culture from your country and from Canada is so different. You said you had the first job was where you were speaking Spanish?
Yeah.
Yeah, was it easy? Was it easy for you to get that job? You just handed your resume and then that was it?
Yeah, and it was like before I active my work holiday, I was like visiting Canada, just make sure when I come back with my son, I get an apartment, daycare, and job. It was my objective when I was coming to Canada. I was like, okay, I'm 2 months before my official date's coming to Canada. I have to find everything, and I find everything: job, daycare, apartment.
That's impressive.
Yeah,
daycare.
Daycare.
That's really impressive.
We know about how hard it is to find a daycare,
Yeah.
but I found a daycare for my son. And it was easy for me. I had a very good experience for my first time in Canada, and I know it's just 10% of 100% of people that don't find easy to arrive in another country. So me, I have, maybe because I'm so French, I don't care. I'm going there asking for a job, and it was before COVID. And anyone doesn't care about you ringing the bell and say, hey, I want a job. Do you have something for me? Because like she said, we can wait 6 months without any job because they have so many interviews. We have 3-4 time interview, and it's hard to get something. But I was not aware about that at that time. So I was doing just what I was doing in France. Just knock, knock. You want my resume? Whatever, And it works. But then when I started another job, because now I have my first job, it was apply online. You have to apply online. This is annoying.
Do you find it harder?
Yeah. It was very annoying.
Yeah,
so I think I was doing it at the same time. For the second one, I think I applied like in October, and I got the new job in June. So thanks God I was keeping my work. But I mean, in between, imagine if I was not having that job at the time. Waiting 6 months without anything. Like her, I would have to work for the elementary job or whatever,
Yeah, because Vancouver is an expensive city as well, right?
Yeah.
Like it's you have to have money to live in Vancouver. Was there a moment when you felt like your experience didn't count anymore, or were you lucky enough to actually get jobs easily in the different provinces?
I think after the first job, when you have 3 years experience, the Canadian experience, it can help.
Yeah.
It can help, and also languages help to find, but the process was very long. So we are like in between. I can say yes but no, because why it takes 6 months to have a response from someone is annoying.
It is. And what do you do during that time, right? It's like
you have to keep working at your actual job because you need money. Absolutely. You have to pay the daycare because daycare, especially in Vancouver,
Super expensive.
Wow. I think the first time I arrived there, they said, okay, you have to pay 1,400 per month. I was like, well, if I do that plus my apartment plus that, I don't know if my salary is going to cover that, even both salary. I was very surprised, and I've been broke for a couple of months as well. I lose a lot of money. I was a lot of credit as well. Thanks God there was some credit card at that time. Even I was against of that at the beginning, but it helps at some point.
So you're talking about salaries. This is a big thing as well, right? Because you have a situation in your home country, you decide to go to another country, maybe with savings or without savings.
Yeah.
And then you kind of start over or take or change field. And your salary becomes a little bit less than what you were actually earning before. Did that happen to you?
No, I think we have more than...
Yeah?
So
you had more here?
Yeah.
My first job, the one that was doing lunch for kids at school, I remember that when I saw my paycheck, I immediately translated to like Dominican pesos. And when I did that, I was like, oh, I'm earning as much as I did back home.
Okay.
Just doing nothing because it doesn't require, a full-time job, you managing people. So I was like, oh, this is not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you, it didn't happen either. You were earning more?
Yeah, I the salary was better in Canada. It's just like the lifestyle. You can have more salary, but your lifestyle is expensive too. So I would say my salary at first was okay. I was in a medium salary. and I was okay to travel, to have a credit for my house. I was okay. Here it was different. It's just because you have to survive to pay some activity for your son or daycare. For us, daycare, why we have to pay so much? I mean, if that money, without this, without kids, you can be okay for the first job in Canada. You just give your money for you. But when you have someone with you and you have to, because the school is only at 5 years, which is different from my country. The kids there are like school at 3 years. So you save time and money, I would say.
Yeah.
So I was surprised for salary. I was, oh, wow, it's a good salary. But then you realize after a couple of months that is a shit.
Yeah.
It's shit because you have so many expenses. Yeah, on top of it. Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, again, Vancouver is an expensive city. I think there is a crisis with daycare and things like that because it's really, really complicated. People sometimes wait like 3 years on that wait list, or this is not a normal, situation. And then it's extremely expensive. So how do you do when you don't have that money and, you have to go back to work and things like that? This is another topic for another time. Natalia, was it, you said that you did lunch lady and then nannying and everything. Which job was the most difficult for you?
I think the job that I did that was the most difficult for me was back in Calgary because then I never ended up taking the nanny job. I ended up staying, what did I do? No, I continued searching for jobs. I ended up finding someone that recognized my university from back home. So I ended up starting in marketing, but I was sort of part-time at that point. But it was good. Like I was in my area, I was happy. But then, and I did that for quite a bit. I ended up going full-time with them. But after that, that company closed in Calgary and they moved their headquarters to Miami. I didn't want to move to the US at that point because I was like, I am almost getting my citizenship here. Like, I'm not going to do that. And it was almost like 5 months later than that, COVID hit. And I ended up like just going and finding, again, whatever job I could find. And it was doing lease agent at a Calgary building, sort of like imagine you managing one of those buildings that are right in Hastings. So that was the hardest job that I've done in my life. I was on a first name basis with the police officers because they would go every day. We had break-ins. I had like people threaten me, grabbing me by the arm, like finding people in really bad conditions in the hallways of the stairs going down. I think that's the hardest job that I've done in my life, and it was because I didn't feel safe. But again, you need a job, you need money.
Yeah.
You
How
need to
long
pay
did you
bills.
stay in that job?
Thankfully, I didn't complete it a whole year there.
Okay.
Because there was a point that, so I forgot to mention that was one of the reasons that I ended up taking that job. My husband also lost his job at the same time, and it was COVID. So you imagine like no one was hiring. So I ended up doing that job, and then he found a job, and I was gonna wait until he had like 3 months like being in that job, and I was like, I cannot do this, so you better not get fired. So I just put in my resignation. I think I did like 8-9 months there. Yeah.
Still a long time for a job that is really not safe.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm Dominican.
Yeah.
I'm Dominican.
What does that
You're
mean?
Dominican.
That means I'm the danger. I'm the one who knocks.
Okay, that means you can fight.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was this time that someone was like this person was not in a safe mental state, and I had one, like he got into the office, he was in my face like shouting at me and stuff, and I remember that I grabbed one of those things that you use to open envelopes, and I just had it under the desk, and I was like this, and I was like, you need to leave, because I was ready, like if he jumps on me, like I'm fighting for my life here.
Did you have any weapons on you?
That was my weapon. But it was
That's a
it was crazy.
lot.
That's the hardest job that I've done in my life. I don't want to go
Yeah.
back to that ever again.
But I guess they are also struggling to find people, for that job as well, right? So do you feel like they were kind of, taking whoever would apply, or was it a process?
I think that the reason that that job was available during COVID and paying well was precisely because of that. They had a really big turnover. By the time that I was there, I probably saw like 8, 9 girls just go
Yeah.
through the whole process.
Yeah, so a big turnover.
Yeah.
Do you think that the system is actually made for immigrants here, or fair for immigrants?
I would say like definition of fairness, right? Because I think that they wanted to bring in more people. I just think that they were not thinking clearly as to where all these people going to live, have kids that will go, where will they go to school, where will they go to daycare, where will they like health, like where will they find that. I think that that's one of the main things that they were not necessarily thinking about, and that's how we end up where we are. When I originally arrived at Calgary, it felt that this was 13 years ago, but it felt that health was good. Like we had a family doctor, we would go to our family doctor, they will call you every year, hey, your checkup, etc., etc. Like you had. Now, like you don't get that at all. Like you have to
I've never
fight
got
for
a
your
call.
health. You have to fight for your health here right now. So I think that at the beginning it was pretty good. I think that there was a point where something broke and they were not thinking clearly as to like where are all these people going to have their basic needs met. And I think that's the part that is not as fair. When you're an immigrant, at the end of the day, you're the one making the decision to move to another country and sort of start again. That just comes with what you're doing. So it is frustrating sometimes, but it's part of being an immigrant. It is what it is.
Yeah. What about you, Sarah? Do you think that they make it easy for immigrants to be here and to start over?
I think it's not easy for any immigrant to find a job in Canada at the beginning. I don't think Canada help immigrants to feel good and feel safe on their country at the beginning, just because we have to fight for everything. We have to show that we are capable to having a job and responsibility, and we are making money for them as well, for the government, for Canada. And sometimes we have to fight all the time, even till now, even after 13 years or 7 years, we are still fighting, and we're going to be fighting till the end. We keep that etiquette as an immigrant, and it won't change. Even if we try to adapt ourselves, we still are immigrants, unfortunately. So I don't think it's very helpful, but it depends where you come from as well. I don't come from a country that is very complicated. I mean, we have a job, the life is good in France. I understand if people from other country that they are not safe and they need work, they want to escape their country. I feel for them it's good to come here. It's just for me to compare to France, it's hard. It's hard, yeah.
Do you feel like it's easier here in BC? Because both of you went to different provinces. Are the other provinces easier than here to integrate and as an immigrant?
I think Vancouver was easier to integrate into society, social things, I guess. Like there's a lot more to do here. There's a lot of more job opportunities, etc., than in Calgary, for example, because that's one of the reasons that we ended up moving, because we were when Ignacio my husband got his job opportunity, when I mentioned that it was like, I'm resigning now, so you better not get fired, he got it here in Vancouver. But the thing is that we had to move, so at that point I just put in my resignation, started trying to find jobs here in Vancouver. at the same time, I did want to make the change to Vancouver because of the weather, because it's hard, the weather in Calgary for someone
Yeah.
from the Caribbean. Yeah.
And you're talking about how you have to fight for everything and prove yourself, right? Do you find it frustrating? Or are you in peace with that? You're like, okay,
I'm
that's the
very
way
in
it
peace.
is. Yeah.
I choose to move in another country. I have to understand that is not easy for you, and you have to fight. You have to fight, and I mean, it is what it is. Because when you're living in France, you see so many immigrant people that they are fighting, and you was like, I don't understand why they are complaining. But now you are in their situation because you're in Canada, and you said, okay, it is what it is. You're an immigrant, so you have to, yeah, just accept the rules. And I was very in peace, and I will stay in peace with Canada just for that. Because if I'm not happy, I have just to come back to my place, to my hometown.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. But you left for a reason, though. So
I left just because I didn't left France because it was insecure or because my job was good. I was very happy over there. It's just I want to get another experience. So that's why I'm very in peace here, because if I'm not feeling well, if I'm not feeling happy, or if my salary, or if I'm broke or whatever, I still have a house. I still have family over there that they can having us. So it's just I'm making my experience for my kids. Learning English is important for everyone. So that's it. Yeah.
okay, see. And have you ever felt underestimated or judged here in Vancouver or in Canada in general?
It has been challenging for me at the beginning because my first job was in Spanish, but the 2 first months was in English. And I had a very bad communication with my manager because she was like, you didn't write well your email. You was telling weird word in English, and you shouldn't do that. And I was like, I'm just starting over. I'm just move on to the country. Just give me some templates that can apply. And I was trying to say, hey, just give me some break, just couple months to improve my English. I cannot do like this. So yeah, it was very hard for me at the beginning to say to the people, I'm capable, I can do something, and that job was not easy. But then they moved me to the Mexican area, which is the Spanish was better for me because I speak better Spanish than English, so I feel comfortable.
Okay.
But it was hard to. My French was very complicated at work at the beginning, so I felt very disappointed with that.
Do you feel like the accent is like a disadvantage here?
I don't think it's the accent. It's just the way we are.
Your personality, David.
I think it's the way we are because we have an image that French people that they're so frank, so rude, so
I see what you mean.
You see what?
Yeah.
And sometimes when we talk in English, the people they can say you're super offensive, like you're talking so rude, like and
too
like,
straight to the point.
Too straight to the point. And I was like, no, it's the way that I'm talking. I'm not aggressive at all. And sometimes to share my opinion, they are like, okay, now we understand you. So actually, my manager is like, I know she's like this. It's just because she's like this. It's not because she's French. It's just because she's like this.
So did you try to, if they were thinking that you were too straight to the point and a little bit, not rude, but like, did you try to soften that, or you were like, no, you're going to adapt to my style?
I'm very sensitive person, sensible. So at the beginning, I was like little crying just because I feel not understanding from these people. And I was like, how can I be more quiet, no more me? And you cannot change yourself. So you can try to make effort to be more soft when you talk, but people has to understand that it's your culture is like this, is you where you are. And if they don't like it, I understand. So I can move to another things,
Yeah.
They have to adjust as well.
So I think it's a good message. It's like when you come from another country, don't try to change yourself, right? Like obviously try to adapt to the culture and everything, but keep your personality,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. That's 100% true. Don't change your personality. Like just respect the people. Obviously, try to not give in a wrong message, and that you can share at the beginning like you from another country, and we say like this, but it's not for offensive. And then after it's good. And when the people they know you, then they understand where you are, and they accept it. And especially when you do a good job, you know, when you do a good job, why they have to complain? You know, like that's fine. I'm making money for you.
Yeah.
Just we have to discuss, and that's it.
Are you working at the job you wanted to work at now, or?
I feel that I am now.
Okay.
I'm with a startup company. It's called Atono, and I get to work a lot from home. I get to try a lot of different things. I love experiencing. No day is the same in my current job, which I like because it feels challenging every day. And I have great bosses, to be honest, not because I'm here, for real. They allow me to do a lot of experimenting in marketing, and at the same time, what you were saying, originally I would tone myself down a lot precisely because I felt people couldn't really understand me or my personality. Like, we're super loud, we speak really fast, we're not fighting. It's just the way we are. We're passionate about things. And I think that the key is just finding a place that wants that passion and understand where you're coming from. And the same, like, as long as you're not like offensive or anything like that, you're good. Like, a lot of the times my boss right now, he just laughs at the things that I come up with. It's like, yeah. Why not? So I think that I'm in a good place now.
Yeah, so you have to find, as you said, the place where people will accept you for who you are and not try to change you. Before you got that job, though, and maybe between the moment you get that scary job and, and you know, the good one, was there a moment where you almost gave up? You were like, okay, this is too much. Why am I even here, you know?
Not because of the job specifically, but I do get that from time to time, I'll be honest.
Because of what then?
Mainly because I'm here with my husband and my kids, but my mom, my dad, my entire family, it's back in the Dominican Republic. And sometimes I wonder if it's worth it for them to be so away from their family, and myself being so away from them as well. And we were talking about salaries, for example. I feel that from the point that I ended up like in my area, and then I started like growing from there, I find that the salaries have not changed that much since, like, I've been here for 13 years and they haven't changed that much. But then, like, life, for you to meet your basic needs has changed a lot. Like inflation, it's insane right now. So you're doing way less because like you're supposed to be growing, right? Like if things get more expensive, then the salary should get better. And I find that that's not what has happened here. In comparison with the Dominican Republic, that has actually changed there. Like, I can see how people with my type of experience, their salary has grown more there than what has grown here.
Yeah. Things
have gotten expensive there as well. But then if you put it in comparison, then I'm like, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
So I do that mental thing in my head at least once a month.
Did you feel like you were behind in some way because of that? Because your experience was not where your, you know, friends or colleagues at the time, you know, were in the Dominican Republic?
I think that at the end of the day, it's where you decide to do the fight. Like, there is, like, here, Dominican Republic, whatever you are, at the end of the day is what you decide to do with your life and fight for it. I don't have, like, like a bowl to know what would have happened if I would have just stayed there. But sometimes you're human, like your mind goes there. But at the end of the day, I am just trying to make the most of what it is, right? So I'm here now. I am actually one of the lucky ones, because I've met Dominicans that have never been able to actually work in their areas here, and had ended up doing just trade jobs or other things because they couldn't really move to their area. My husband is an example of that as well. He's a mechanical engineer back home, but he's doing business analyst here, which is not bad. But then again, like, because he would have had to sort of start over here. So it's just a trade of a lot of things. Like, there's no perfect place. There is a lot of good things in the art. There's a lot of bad things as well. There is a lot of good things in Canada, a lot of bad things as well. And at the end of the day, it's just putting it in a balance, in your own family, personal balance, and decide what's best for your family and yourself.
Yeah, so try to not compare yourself too much, because this is your life, you're
Yes.
living it. And yeah, what would you recommend to someone who came to Vancouver or to another city, country, and who is looking for their first job? So for you, was knocking at everyone's doors.
Yeah, don't apply too much online. Go
Okay.
there, because you can wait a long time, especially if you want to work in the industry. If you was doing the same job in your country, you want to do the same thing, I will recommend to go straight to the point, go straight to the person, because it's gonna be hard to find a job, especially if you want to do the same job that you was doing before. Me, I'm not doing at all, just because my job was in logistics, so I was I was away, and now I have to work from home because I have to pick up the kids. They're sick. There is before school that's very expensive. I cannot pay anything for that, so that's why I have to work from home, just because I can save money on that, unfortunately. If it was my choice, I would go back to logistics.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I cannot do, just because of the tuition,
Yeah.
because of financials. It's financial decision, I would say. But my recommendation is just like, if you want something, go straight to the point, and sometimes it works.
Yeah. What about you, Natalia? What advice would you give?
I will probably do like a combination of both. It's good to knock on doors, especially like if you find someone that's something else. Like if you have something specific that you want to do, try finding someone with the same profile that has done the things you want to do, and just approach them, like LinkedIn, whatever, and then just like, hey, just be honest, I'm looking for a job. I'm not asking for you to give me a job. I just want to hear some pointers from you. It's weird, but it works.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, like if you approach them from a place of, I'm not looking for you to give me a job. I just want to know from your experience, you're at the place where I would like to be. What would you recommend me if I'm starting over? So sort of like a tiny mentorship type of approach.
Is that what you did?
Yes, there was a point that I started doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it worked for you?
It worked for me. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. That's it. That's good advice. I think I like both. I like, going, to knock on doors and everything, because you can also put a face on that resume, because especially here, I don't think there are like photos on resumes, right? Like we have that in France, but here, no, it's a big no. So it's actually good because people can see you, can see your demeanor, can see, like your personality, and get to know you a little bit better, rather than if it's online and you just like, put the resume. And then connecting with people. This is a big thing, because network is big here in Vancouver, in the sense that you need to connect with people and some community and everything, right? Did you find that as well, that network is very important here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing I did when I arrived in Vancouver is going on group on Facebook, finding French in Vancouver, trying to make friends, because usually you want to connect with your language, I would say, your people that can understand you at the beginning. And then you can, with work, having other connection with other person that we have different nationality. But from the beginning, you should go through Facebook, maybe don't be shy to post something on Facebook and asking for a meeting with people, like, you go to the playground, we have kids, do you want to join? Sometimes it works. And I remember I did that at the beginning when I was in Vancouver, and I had a lot of group of friends that we still are friends right now, and it helps a lot because they have different jobs. One, it could be a director of soccer, one is going to be a hairdresser, so it's good to have some contacts, and it helps a lot at the beginning to feel home, to feel a new home for you and your family.
Did you also go to the Dominican Republic Facebook group, or did you try to find these people? Okay.
When I arrived in Calgary, I started meeting with other Dominicans, like very informal. There were not a lot of Dominicans. I probably knew them all at that point when I moved there. But when I moved, because I realized how important was that for me when I moved to Calgary. When I moved to Vancouver, I did exactly the same. I was like, hey, I'm moving to Vancouver. Can you put me in touch with other Dominicans? They had a WhatsApp group. And then I ended up joining the WhatsApp group. Then we do gatherings and a lot of other things. There was a point that we were like, well, it's a big group. We want to sort of like formalize things. And that's how we ended up doing the Dominican Association here in BC.
Oh, okay. That's how you created it. How many people are in the association now?
There's 13 directors currently, but members itself, it's around more than 300. I think it's 400 now, something like that. But there's a lot of other
big.
There's a lot of more Dominicans here.
Yeah, is it a big community?
Well, not so big when you compare it to other communities, but it's big for Dominicans.
Yeah, it's a small island. So.
Exactly. Like, it's big for Dominicans. Like, how are there so many Dominicans here? Yeah, but there's a lot of us here.
Yeah, I didn't know. Really didn't know. Do you feel like there are a lot of French people here?
7 years after, definitely.
Yeah.
You can hear outside. I was like, this is the first time I hear more French than before. Especially because I left Vancouver like 4 years ago. And 4 years ago, there was just a couple French people around, but don't too much. Mm-hmm. Because when we saw each other on playground, oh, you're French, and then we connect that like this. Now we can have French over here. We're like, who's care? Because it's normal to have a lot of French
Don't
people.
care about you anymore.
Yeah, I mean, before it was like, no, we have to talk, we have to share
we have to connect. We have to connect.
And here now is like, I feel there is a lot of French people around here, which is good. I mean, it's good to have some people that they share the same languages like you, and that's good.
It's a big immigration city, right? Like or
definitely.
Country. Do you think that confidence actually plays a role in how your experience is perceived, or not at all? Do you think you need to be confident? Yeah. But do you need to be confident, or do you need to kind of fake that confidence? The fake it till you make it.
It doesn't really matter if you're faking it or not. But it is, at least for me, it was a big thing. I know that when I first arrived, I didn't feel secure about my English skills. I felt that maybe my credentials were not gonna be as well because I'm from a third world country or whatever. And then when I started actually in the industry and started like working, and then I realized, I'm not that dumb. I'm actually not faking it. Like, for real, I have the skills. I just need to be more confident. And because I'm very confident in Spanish, the issue was, how do you translate that confidence into another language?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I sort of learned how to do that at the beginning, I had to fake it because it's just not there. You have to trick your mind, so it's faking it. There is a point where you just get it, but it doesn't really matter, fake or for real or not, but you have to be confident.
Yeah.
And do you think it's different for men and women? Do you think they experience that differently?
My husband had a different experience than me, definitely, because his English was was terrible. He was not able to say my name is Alexander, for example. It was very hard for him. So his experience was completely different, and now as well, after 7 years, that he is still learning English. It was difficult for him, especially for his job. He was in the RCMP, and it was a complicated. So he stopped the RCMP just because his English was not very good, and for government work,
Yeah,
you
you have
shouldn't.
to. Yeah.
And
Has to be
that's why
perfect.
it was complicated for him. But it was different as well, different stories. But I feel depend of the person, and also because of men and women were more straight, not more shy than the boys. I feel this like men they're hiding on us, and us we are like more making social life. I mean, his friend is because I find friends for him.
Yeah.
So sorry, but this is the reality. So we are
So
more
you're more
confident.
social, you're more out there, and so
Yeah.
you think it helps you more
Oh,
than
yeah.
it would. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have the same vision?
A little bit, but not completely. So in my case, my husband was the one with the spotless English. So for him, he came here with a job and a really good job. So for him was way easier than me. But then like creating social life and all the other things, that is me. Like he has friends because I find friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. If not, he'll be in the house the entire day just watching
like,
TV.
I'm like, thanks God I have a social life, because if not, he's happy with his kids and me.
Yeah.
But me, I need to have a social life because
Yeah.
it's boring life if not, But
We need
are
to talk
not
to
same.
people.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to talk to people. Hello.
That's why we're doing
That's why
today.
you're here
That's why we're here today.
No, but I love that. But it's a little bit true. I feel like men can be a little bit more shy in these, instances.
Yeah.
Once they have their bros, they have their bros
Of
or whatever.
course.
But yeah, at the beginning, I feel like a woman helps.
They're
a lot
always
too.
asking, "Oh, I have to talk to my wife if we can do something." Like me, I'm not talking to him to confirm something. It's different.
I agree there. I agree. This is.
I said, "Yeah, oh, we have a dinner on Saturday." That's it. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
asking you.
No, and even me. Sometimes he's asking me, and I'm like, "Why are you asking me? Just
Exactly.
book your
Just do it.
whatever. Just do it."
If I'm asking him, it's because I probably don't want to do that.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, okay, the experience is totally different for men and women. I believe we are over time, and we're gonna have to wrap it up. But I think I just have maybe one last question for you. For someone who just arrived in a new country or in a new city and who feels maybe stuck, we talked about what they should do to find a job and everything, but what are the things that you would say, don't do that, in this country, or don't do it at all?
I would say no comparison. Don't compare to your country, because each country is different. Each story, each position is different. Your friend is not like you. So just go straight to the point, straight to your goals in your life, and it will help you to grow up in the country, I would say.
100% agree with that. Yeah, that is true. At the end of the day, like, I get contacted a lot from people asking me, like, how is life there, et cetera, and I always start saying, this is my experience. At the end of the day, it's what's gonna work for you. You cannot compare to other people. It's not gonna be the same experience, because things worked out somehow for me. It doesn't mean that are going necessarily to work out the same way for you. It might be better, it might be worse, who knows, but you have to just take the right mindset, and then set your goals, set your path, set your own things, and make sure that those are the things that are going to make you and your family happy.
Would you do it all over again if you knew, what you know today?
I would do the same.
Yeah?
I would do the same. Even I left Vancouver just because I wanted to buy a house. So I've been in Calgary for 2 years, and I hate it. But I like the experience you have to do. I will do again, just because it's good to have other experience.
Yeah.
I'm not regretting to left Vancouver to another province, and then I leave to Montreal as well. I don't regret at all. It's been part of my experience in Canada.
Yeah.
I think in my side, I am the type of person that if I don't get to do something, it's gonna get stuck in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, so if like I will probably do it again. That's what the way that I can do my summary. Like if I am the type of person that I will try things, and if they don't work out, it's an experience. Then I know I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But I know by doing. So it depends a lot of who you are, but I think that I would do it again just because of that scratching in my, like, what if? Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, thank you so much for being here today. That was a very interesting and insightful conversation. We can end on that, actually. Do you have a shout out that you would like to give?
Yes, so I just want to give a shout out to the Dominican Republic Association here in BC, because you need your community. Like when you're starting in a new place, you need your people. Like for you to be able to take the courage to go out and do better, be better, etc. You need your people. You need someone that understands you enough to give you strength to go out and face the unknown, basically. Yeah, so shout out to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, I would give the shout out as well for the French people that they didn't choose to come in Quebec. You know, I'm very happy for those people that they have the courage to choose another province that they don't speak French, just because it shows that you are motivated and you will do big things. Absolutely. So that's a good shout out for them. Like, bravo, like, good job for you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So French and Dominican Republic. Amazing. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.
Yeah, that's good.